So let's just do a very nice happy making yoga. Happy making yoga, it's always good. So to start with a happy making yoga, you just swing from side to side. Nice and happy. Nice and happy. And you imagine you're about 6 years old and you're kind of just having a bit of a skip. Skipping apparently really is very happy making. Okay. And then we go into my favorite seagull. Do you remember the seagull from summer? I was actually teaching somewhere down in Cornwall, and the seagulls were making a lot of noise, so we just did an awful lot of seagull. Okay, and then happy making is breathe in, take the arms all the way up. Okay, nice and long. Reach up and try to reach the ceiling and looking straight forward. Drop the chin a little so the crown of the head is definitely lifting. Nice and long. And now stretch your right side and your left side. And your right side a bit more. And your left side. And your right side. And your left side. Okay. Breathing out. Just when it's starting to get a little bit, it's a bit much. Separate the feet out. Okay. Maybe a bit wider. And I'd like you to slide down to the right. So hopefully you're really nicely side on. So you're sliding down without going forward. Sliding down sideways on. Lovely. Sliding down to the right. Hold that pose. And the left hand can be resting wherever it's comfortable. Nice. And actually, could you just rub along the left side with that left hand while you keep the pose? Nice. All right, breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, going down the left. Lowering down and top shoulder back. Lowering down. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And again, you can just rub along the right hand side. Okay, good. And now going down further, so you're actually going into a forward bend, but on the left. Lovely. Coming down. And walking the hands over to the right. So you can turn that right foot out to 2 o'clock. Bending the head downward. Okay, and see if you can get down a little bit lower if it feels comfortable for you. You can soften the knees. And then walking across to the other side. And down again. Dropping the shoulders, opening out the shoulder blade, breathing into it. And then coming to the center and using your hands. So if you feel uncomfortable, you can come more forward. If you're feeling fine, you can bring the hands a little bit further back. So all the forward bends are very soothing and peaceful and calm. So they're good if you're feeling uptight or wound up in any way. And then let's grab hold of the elbows because I like this very much. I like the feeling of opening out the shoulder blades, wriggling and jiggling the shoulder blades down. And then you can let the elbows swing forward and back, or you can let them swing a little from side to side, which will open out the shoulder blades a bit more. And then eventually coming to steady. Midpoint, comfortable, gentle forward bend. Breathing into it, chin to chest, nice open back of the neck. So obviously at any stage, if you felt this was hard, you could do this just resting the arms on a chair. You don't have to go down as far. And then release the hands and take them out to the ankles, if you can, or to the shins, and breathing into that. Drop the shoulders, open out the wings of the shoulder blades again. And then we'll just do the twist from here. So Obviously do what you feel able to do. So, be careful, don't overstretch. So the hand comes to the center, and do bend the knees if you need to, if they're feeling the back of the legs are feeling a little bit too tight. Breathing in, we're going up into the twist, opening the heart, looking up to the heavens. And then breathing out, coming down. Pause, and then breathing in, lifting, looking up. And there are two ways to do this particular pose. You can do it with a bent elbow for the base arm, and you can do it with a straight arm. You're just turning to look as much up at the ceiling as you can, and you can soften any knee you need to. If the inner thigh adductors are complaining, be kind, soften out, don't overstretch. Okay, then breathing out, bring both hands back to the middle, drop the head again, relaxed, letting go. And then walk the hands forward so that you're in a nice cat position, okay? So a comfortable cat position, table position, okay? Lovely. So with this one, if pregnant, I would recommend not going too much now into the hammock shape. Okay, so you're not letting the belly drop too much to the floor. And keep your abdominal muscles, if you're pregnant, if you still feel you've got them, a little bit holding, right? So let's start with flat table position. So the front of the face parallel to the floor, and tucking the tailbone under slightly to flatten out the lower back. Okay, and then breathing in, looking up, and if you wish to, going into the hammock or staying to a little gentle, just an arch. And then breathing out, going into the bridge pose, arching as much up as you can. The chin tucked in. Breathing in, coming through back into that lovely hammock. Okay, and then for a moment, just following your breath, so that when you breathe in, you're coming into the hammock shape. Pause, breath, to come back on the breath, and then as you breathe out, going into the bridge shape. And again, pretend you've got all the time in the world, just happily moving with the breath. Rippling from the base of the spine, vertebra disc all the way up to the skull, and then moving them all through the spine again on each movement. And then eventually just staying in your hammock shape and breathing into it. See if you can keep the shoulders away from the ears and the head. Remember to breathe. And try and look up to the ceiling above your head. It's a challenge. And if you're not very pregnant, or not pregnant at all, take the tailbone up to the heavens. Engage the abdominal there. Bring the shoulder blades together and down towards your waist. Breathing into that. And then on the next out breath, going round into the bridge pose and staying there for a moment. So see if you can lift up the area just below your shoulder blades, up higher to the heavens, tucking the tailbone under, tucking the chin in. Breathing into that. Widening out the shoulder blades as much as possible. Move the shoulders away from the head. And then in the pose, widening out the knees and bringing the big toes to touching. And we'll go down comfortably into the lying down frog pose. Okay, so first of all, just have the hands, thumbs touching the head. Index fingers together, touching. We've got wide elbows going out, wide knees going out. Then we need to check the back of the neck. Probably lift the head up and tuck the chin in a little bit more so the back of the neck is nice and open. And just breathing into that. Again, a soothing pose, calming pose. You can even see if you can smile in this pose. Safe, protected, calming, quietening, relaxing. We allow the breathing to calm down. And see if there's any tension held in the shoulders or shoulder blade area. Imagine they just relax, they become liquid. Let them go. On the face, let the face go. Okay, and then on the next in-breath, sweep the hands round to your feet. Touch your heels if you can. Drop the shoulders. Just touching the heels outside of your ankle joint. Then on the next in-breath, taking the backs of the hands onto the back, the palms of the hands facing upwards. And I'd like you to make contact with your middle finger to middle finger, and then push the middle finger up the back so that you're doing Namaste, the prayer hand position on your back. Breathing into that. And then lift the elbows up away from the floor. So breathing into that, gentle, gentle. If it's straining anywhere, allow the elbows to drop down again. Okay, and then just release that hand pose, that particular mudra, and rubbing the backs of the hands just up and down the back a little, warming, soothing. And then turn the palms over, and I'd like you to rub into the area where the kidneys are. So warming and soothing there. And what's great about doing any kind of soothing, gentle, caressing work on the body is that the body responds with the happy hormone, oxytocin, and it really does feel loved and cherished, soothed, caressed. And then I'd like you to rub the outside of the thighs a few times, and then pushing the hands forward, allowing the thumbs to touch as you stretch the arms way out beyond you, opening out the armpit area. Okay, and you might need to now adjust the forehead. So we don't want the back of the neck to kink too much, but neither do we want too much of a chin hole up to the chest. We just want the relaxed head. So a sort of middle way on that head. Relaxed, comfortable. And then turn the palms over, upward, so they're upward. And maybe you'd like to think about what it is you'd most like to receive at this moment in time. What do you need in your life? Is it calmness? Is it strength? Is it adventure? What is it you would like to receive? Okay, and then palms downwards, pulling the hands back to about where the head is, and just push and come up, because we're going to do the lovely soothing threading the needle. So threading the needle, you know this one, don't you? You start on all fours like so. Do say if you need me to know something, do say. Yeah. So threading the needle, this is the hole of the needle, believe it or not. And this is the thread that's going to go through. And the trick with this one is to go far to about there, and then to take the shoulder down, and then to walk the thread a little bit more along, so that you're on a really quite strong twist. And then the other arm can come down to the floor. So I've got both forearms on the floor. You might need to separate the knees out a bit more. You might not, you might be fine. See how you're doing. Yay. Funny old pose this. And then breathe in, coming up. Just do it straight on so people can see. Breathing out, go the other way, the other arm through. Down we go. Walking as much far over as we can. So we're trying to do this quite strong twist. And then comfortably relaxed. Okay. And then breathing in, bringing that hand back. So they'll go back up into this nice steady table. We're coming up, love, Phil. And then let's do it again. So we're breathing out and through. And we're breathing in and we're coming up. And we're breathing out the other side. And we're breathing in and we're coming up. And we're breathing out. Lovely. And breathing in and coming up. So do that now with your own breathing pattern. And the trick that I found is really to try and get that shoulder as far through as you can. Because that creates a lovely twist. It's doing great things to, not just to the back and the spine, but to those internal organs which are getting stretched and massaged. Okay, and then to finish off, I would go back into wide knees. Okay, and just pause for a moment, sitting upright, unless you're really uncomfortable doing this. If you are very uncomfortable, I'd recommend taking a block and sitting on a block or a tuffet. Okay, sitting comfortably. And we're just going to do some neck work. So, well, we have to do happy baby if we're doing happy work. Let's do happy baby, remind me. So we're going from side to side with the neck. So hopefully feeling fairly comfortable doing this. Very much side to side. Right down that side of the neck. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out and down. Obviously, if it hurts to kneel to do this, you could sit on a chair. You could sit with your legs straight out in front of you. Okay, and then I'd like you to take the head to the left, look to the left, and look even further around. And then take the chin down to the left shoulder. And pause there, keep breathing. Drop the shoulders, shoulder blades together. Breathe in, lift the chin, still looking to the left. Breathe out, coming to the front. Breathe in, lengthen. So try and think of those 7 neck vertebrae lengthening up on their stalk. Okay, chin a bit down, that's it. And then looking to the right. And then chin to the right shoulder. Shoulder blades coming together a little. Pause and breathe. And then looking to the right again. turning the neck as much as possible. Breathing in, coming to the front. Chin to chest. So chin to chest, dropping the shoulders, bring the shoulder blades back and together a little. Really stretching the back of the neck. Remember, the head is quite heavy. It's about 7 or 8 pounds worth of weight. So it is creating quite a stretch there. Gauge for yourself if that's too much. Okay, breathing in, coming up, and then we want to open the front of the neck vertebra. So gently, gently, slowly, slowly, in a very controlled way, looking up at the heavens and relaxing the head back. But we're not arching the back. Just looking up. Okay, if you can stay in that position, if it doesn't hurt, some people it can hurt. Just keep breathing in it. And then breathing in, coming up to steady. And then just shake, not shake, move the head from side to side like an owl. You might feel the neck crickle and crackling. You feel it crickling and crackling? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then left, chin to left shoulder, roll round to the front, chin to chest, and up to the right. And look right, and then down to the right shoulder, roll. All the way to the left, and look left, and keep doing that. So it's the front rolls. We're not going to do the back rolls, we're only doing the front roll. Dropping the shoulders if you find them creeping up towards the head. Okay, and then head facing forward, I'd just like you to take your hands and rub into any of the areas which are feeling slightly in there. Okay, a little bit of massage, a little bit of finger pressure. And then let's roll the right shoulder back first, quite big, and then forward. And then the left shoulder. And then forward. Okay, and then put the hands, fists on the shoulders and make big circles with the elbows. And then the other way. Good, and then hands to heart. Namaste. Pause for a moment. And let's do just the heart meditation. So, I mean, I'm still in kneeling, but some people have probably given up long ago and come into either cross-legged or a seated position on a chair. So heart work, hands at the heart. Let's breathe in, enfolding to the heart. Next in breath, open the palms and receive whatever it is that you need. And breathe out, sending out. Breathe in, opening. Breathe out, sending from the palms, drop the shoulders. Turn the palms upwards, breathe in. And coming down to the heart. So breathing in, receiving, palms upwards. Breathing out, sending. Breathe in, opening. Breathe out, sending. Breathe in, palms upwards, and up we go. Enfolding and sealing the practice. And then the last one is just doing it silently, okay? And then releasing, pausing for a moment, and we're going to go into happy baby since we're following this happy theme. So happy baby is basically a baby lying on its back with its arms and legs in the air, of course, like so. Sure, it's not. It might be a beetle that's kind of landed on its back and then it's got a bit stuck, like so. Okay, so the wrists are floppy, the legs are a bit floppy. The chin is towards the chest. And we're simply at the moment just resting there. The face is more or less parallel to the ceiling. Relax the jaw, relax the elbows and the knees. Okay. And then straightening up the limbs, so we're going to perpendicular, coming straight up in the arms and the legs. See how that feels. And you can bring the toes towards you and away from you, towards you and away from you, and then rotate those ankle joints. Okay, and then bring the hands to behind the knees. Okay, and pull the legs a little bit more over towards you. So bringing the toes down towards you. And you can do this with the legs parallel, or you can do this with the legs wide. And then see, depending on your arm length and your leg length, whether you can hold on to your toes. So we're kind of doing an upside down forward bend. Keep the chin tucked in a little. Stretching the backs of the legs. And you might want to bend one knee and straighten the other leg, as though you're stepping along the ceiling, walking along the ceiling. Just allowing some pressure onto the sides of the belly area. So ascending colon, descending colon. So do that. And then holding behind the knees and just letting the legs flop a minute and shake them up and down, like so. And then holding on the outside of the knees and pressing them inwards. So once we've got them pressed inwards, we can rock a little from side to side. Massaging the back, lowering the tailbone a bit down towards the floor. Comfortably so. So chin to chest, rocking from side to side. And then hands on the knees, and we'll do those circles again, soothing, calming, nice and gentle. We're doing clockwise circles first, big as you can make them. And then the other way. Lovely. Okay, and then reach through the legs up to the instep, and we're going into the stuffed turkey. So the knees are coming down into the armpit, chin to chest, tailbone to floor. Pausing there a minute, breathing into that. And then crossing over at the ankle, holding onto the toes. Okay. Just pausing there, let the shoulders relax. And then release the legs straight up again and hold behind the knees, straightening out the legs, bring the toes towards the face. tailbone down towards the floor. And then holding on to the big toes if you can reach, so bend the knees if you need to. And we'll do the rocking and rolling baby. So rocking and rolling baby is like this. You're coming over and up and over and up. So one foot comes down to the floor on the other side, and then the other foot does the other side, and we're pretending that we're a baby, just playing with our feet in the air, rolling from side to side. Okay. See, one can be straight like that and come over and touch the floor. So we've got one student here trying to do it with just bent knees and getting stuck. Like so, but it's actually really helpful to let the leg just expand out. Okay, and then eventually coming back, so lying on our backs. Bring the feet together, soles of the feet together in the air, and hold on to the toes, chin to chest. Breathing into that. See if you can relax around the shoulders, the jaw, forehead. Push the knees away from you if you can. And breathing into that pose. Lovely. And then we're going out into the wide angle scissors. Wide as we go on the legs, holding. I'm holding behind the knees. Making sure that I'm not stretching too wide apart. Relax the shoulders. And then cross the feet, the legs right in front of the left. And then widen out again. And cross left in front of right. And then widen out again. And back to soles of the feet together, holding on to the toes. Push the knees away from you. Okay. Some of these are gas ejectors, so be warned. Okay, lovely. And then release the hands and clasp them behind the head, underneath the head. Okay, and we're just going to do some gentle cycling. So bicycling in the air. Lovely. And then the opposite way. And then the other way again. So trying the heels are just skimming the ground. The knee is coming towards the face. And then the other way. Okay, and then the feet eventually come down to the ground and knock the knees together. Pause and breathe. And if your hands are uncomfortable behind the head, you can always place them by the sides. They don't have to be behind the head. They can even be palms downwards on the belly. Nothing to do for a moment. And then take the hands again, if you can, behind the head, just to do the pistons, backwards and forwards. Slow, quite low to the ground. Lovely. Okay, and then place the feet on the floor. And we're just going to do the bridge pose from here. So breathing in, lift the pelvis up. And the hands behind the head, backs of the hands on the floor. Breathe out, coming down. So the thighs here are parallel. Some people like to put a block between the thighs. That can help in this pose. Each in-breath, you're going up, chin's tucked in, backs the hands onto the floor. Each out-breath, rolling the vertebra of the spine back down, okay? So Breathing in, going up, pushing the pelvis up. Pause, breathing out, coming down. Rolling the pelvis away. Breathing in, coming up. Nice and meditative and relaxing and calming. Breathing in, up. Breathing out and down. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. So on the last one, just resting there for a moment. Nothing to do. And then we're rolling over onto our left side. Okay, rolling over onto the left. So we're in that sort of Cleopatra position, like so. Hopefully you can see me. Oh. All right. And then you know what's going to happen next, don't you? Right. Leg lift. In line with the leg below and down. And up. And down. And up. And then just bounce there. Nice and steady. Bouncy, bouncy, bounce. And then instead of it being grim and oh my goodness, and this is awful, how about the kind of fun with it, like big bounces? And it's as though we have a line here, we're going along here, and we're trying to lift that line up. So we're not turning the leg inwards at all to lift it. We're actually very much on the line with that lower leg. Okay, lovely. Release. Bring that leg in front of you. See if you can settle somewhere. You might need to hold it. Okay. Pause. Okay, and lift up again. A little bit more bouncing, not a lot, just a little bit. And then we're gonna swing round and do the other side. So then going on to the right side. Okay, good. And the trick with this is not to be out of alignment, like the legs too far forward, but really in a nice line from the crown of the head all the way to the feet. And then up we go. Okay, very nice. And down, and up, and down, and up, and down. We want it here. Up and down. You could even put the hand there to see if it is actually working there. Yeah, can you feel that? What's going on underneath? Mm-hmm. And then we get there and we go bouncy bounce. Bouncy, bouncy, bounce. Ooh, ow, ooh, ow. It should feel quite strong. Does it? Mm. Good. Okay, relax down, bring that foot. You might need to hold it up to the front. Pause for a moment. Okay, and then back, and then a few more bouncy, bouncy bounces. And then we can come all the way down into a nice reclined side pose, comfortably. Relaxing, nothing to do. And this is where you can imagine you're cuddled up underneath your duvet, nice and relaxed. And sometimes in yoga, you can do too much yoga. You can get to a point where you think, you know, if I do any more poses, it's going to probably dissipate the positive healing I've been doing. So one of the skills being a yogi is to know when to stop. So now use the arms to push and come up and comfortably sit somewhere. If you want, you can sit with your back against a wall or a bench. You can have a cushion underneath you. Okay, you can sit on a bench if you want. You're going to be uncomfortable on the floor. And bring the feet towards you. So I'd like you to widen out the feet, like so. Widen out the toes, wide as possible, as though you're trying to take as much room as possible with the feet. And I always think, why don't they make shoes this shape? It's so much better for our feet. And I have heard horror stories that in some places in the world, they actually cut off some toes so they can get them into those very tight, pointy. Doesn't that seem horrendous? Why would one do that? Okay, and then if you can just wave with your little toe. Like so. Right, and then point the toes away from you. Okay, if that gives you cramp, you might need to wriggle your toes at the same time. Okay, and then release. And let's go into the seated cobbler. So bringing the feet as far back as you can. So sometimes when you've got your yoga belt, you can actually drop the belt round the feet and then pull up and hold like so. Or you can just grab your ankles and pull back. Okay, but the nice thing doing against a wall is I've got a really nice upright spine. Okay, and then see if you only you should be allowed to do this. Gently, gently, little bit of pressure on your knees to open out here. Gently, gently. Okay, drop the shoulders. Lovely. Nice. So, see this bit where their feet are? The reason it's called a cobbler is if you open out the feet as much as possible, making them quite wide, not sort of stuck together, but see how they're opening there? That's where you'd put the shoe if you're working on it as a cobbler in India. And at the same time, you can be gently, gently encouraging legs of the out. So you're stretching groin and adductor muscles here. Yeah. And then there is a pose. Doesn't necessarily mean we need to do it, but there is a pose where you come forward from there. So you can imagine if you're going to come forward, you need this abdominal area with all those internal organs in there as long as possible. And coming forward at an angle. So you might only want to go to there. You might want to drop the hands down. Continue looking up at an angle. Or you might want to slowly, slowly inch your hands forward. You might want to do none of that. You might want to just cuddle your toes, give your feet a rub and just drop your head down a little. Breathing into that. And if at any point the knee hurts, especially this front part of the knee here, the trick to stopping that is to move the feet further away, and it takes the pressure off those knees. And because it's a forward bend, again, it's soothing, quietening, calming. And then slowly, slowly coming up, just rub the feet, especially the insides of the feet. We so rarely do that. You know, palm to sole of the foot. And then rubbing the outsides of the feet. Up the legs, run the outside of the thighs. And then straighten out the legs so we're in the seated wide angled position again. And just rest, comfortably resting there. So don't worry about pulling the toes towards you or away from you, just let them be however they like to be. And doing nothing for a moment. And as we pause there, I'd like you to think of 4 things that you don't normally notice that you can be grateful for. So things you don't normally notice you can be grateful for. It might be as something as simple as having socks on, or having shoes, warm boots to wear in the winter. It might be having a comb or a brush for your hair. I normally think I'm so grateful for that. Just having a little think. Okay, and then shake the feet from side to side. Bring them forward. Bend them a little. And roll into coming up, because we're about to go into resting on a bench. So people who are watching this at home, we're just going to do the final relaxation, either with part of the knees bent and the lower leg on the bench, legs up a wall, or lying flat, or lying on one side. Okay, so we're going to finish there. Thank you.